It's time now for sports. We begin with that competition that nobody cares about unless your team is playing in it. Hello, Simon Harding.
Hi, Francois. You always say this to me.
We're talking
Is that
about
a
the
dig at
Europa League.
Manchester United?
Manchester United's playing tonight.
They are indeed, and they're playing in Belgrade, Francois, which of course brings back some terrible memories for United, because that was the last game they played before the 1958 Munich air crash, which decimated the Busby Babes. And it's just the second time, funnily enough, that they've been back in over 60 years. But let's take a look at that game from a sporting point of view. The Red Devils produced a fine display against Liverpool at the weekend, but were unable to grab the 3 points. They will be expected to win in Europe and record their first away victory since beating Paris Saint-Germain last March. Many of the talk in the build-up has been about racism. Belgrade and Partizan are considered one of the teams with a group of fans likely to direct racist chants. United manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said he expected UEFA to do their job.
Yeah, in the aftermath of what happened in Bulgaria, we've had a meeting with the boys, and we've, as Harry said, we've gone through the protocol. But I'm sure, I believe in the good in people, and the atmosphere here is going to be, I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. We'll try to keep them quiet by playing good football, but it's down to us. But we trust UEFA, and like Savo said as well, I've seen his quotes that might be, hopefully it's a celebration of good football.
Let's take a look at some of the other fixtures on offer this evening. In just a few minutes' time, Roma will entertain Borussia Mönchengladbach. The Italians are top of their group with 4 points, whereas the Germans are joint bottom. Rangers travel to Portugal to take on Porto in Group G. Feyenoord and Young Boys are also in that pool. All 4 teams are on 3 points. French outfit Saint-Etienne face Alexandria. Claude Puel is yet to lose in his new job. Later tonight, Arsenal welcome Guimarães to the Emirates. Celtic take on Lazio, whereas Rennes will be looking to put an end to their poor form by beating Cluj in Brittany. It's less than 48 hours to go until the first semi-final of the Rugby World Cup. The two best nations of the moment, England and New Zealand, face off for a place in the final. For many, this actually is the final. The lineups are out, with Steve Hansen making one very surprising change in the forwards. Flanker Sam Cane has dropped. He will be replaced by Scott Barrett. Even though Barrett usually plays at a lock, a clear sign that the All Blacks will push to challenge England's line-out. His brother Bowden will be at 15, whereas Richie Mo'unga keeps his place at fly-half. England make one change to the team who crushed Australia as George Ford returns to fly-half, with Owen Farrell moving into the centres and Manu Tuilagi going to 13. That was the combination the head coach Eddie Jones used during the pool phase. It means that Henry Slade drops to the bench. Controversial after his great performance against Australia. Eddie Jones, who reckons the two best teams in the world will play out a great contest.
We're ready for the game. As I said at the previous, we've had 2.5 years to prepare for this game, so we're ready to go. And it's going to be a great contest, isn't it? Two heavyweights, one dressed in black, one dressed in white. You couldn't think of a better scenario. The one thing about playing against New Zealand, you've got to be alive all the time, because they're always in the game and they're always looking for opportunities. So you just got to be alive in the game, and our players are equipped for that. They're ready to go and can't wait for it, mate.
The other semi-final, Wales-South Africa, takes place on Sunday. Both of those teams have also announced their starting lineups, with some very bad news for the Springboks. Toulouse's Cheslin Colby will sit out the match against Wales after picking up an injury against Japan. The 23-year-old has been unable to recover despite sitting out training the whole week. The top 14 star has 2 tries to his name, but has been one of the most impressive players at this World Cup. The rest of South Africa's 23-man squad is the same. In the NBA, the league was treated to one of the most thrilling Game 1 matches ever as the Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Brooklyn Nets 127-126 in overtime. The show was stolen by Kyrie Irving, the former Celtics man, who on his debut scored 50 points, the best debut scorecard in franchise history. Karl Anthony Towns, who got the ball rolling, had 36 points in a high-scoring match from the get-go, including 55 points in the opening quarter. The Timberwolves raced ahead with a healthy lead at halftime. Irving and co produced a superb third to edge ahead. But in overtime, the game went down to the final buzzer. Irving losing possession, but somehow recovering to attempt a game-winning shoot, which unfortunately for him did not bounce in. But it's an absolutely brilliant game of basketball, Francois, and some really impressive get-goes.
All right, many thanks, Simon Harding. We'll